Welcome, 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 everyone. It is me, Nina Saacks from Yoga Awakening Africa, and I am delighted to be chatting with the French-speaking Lilly from the Yoga CEOs. Lilly, how are you? Good to see you.
I'm lovely. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. That was a pleasure.
So good, good, good. I met you because you had reached out. I got this email in my inbox with regards to you ran a yoga teacher training, Nina. Is business pretty much something that you offer in your course? Like, I'm an MBA, I'm a yoga teacher. I have this new brand that I'm creating. It's called the Yoga CEOs. And, can we collaborate? Is there conversation? And usually when I get emails like that in my inbox, I'm like, but just the way you had worded it and what you'd done, I was like, let's find out more. And we had a chat and I was like, you're a really cool chick. And I'm really excited about your brand and what you stand for and how you're really wanting to help yoga teachers grow and build their businesses. So why not give everyone a little intro about yourself, and how and why did you create the Yoga CEOs?
Yeah, of course. Well, thanks for all the nice compliments. It's good to know I'm coming along nicely on emails. You never really know. But yeah, so I've got a background in business and management. So I studied business. I did an MBA back in France many years ago, and I worked within the corporate world for the first 7 years of my working life, and then as most people, everything kind of went down with COVID, and I ended up getting quite a lot of time in my hands because at the time I was working within a bit of a travel brand, which obviously kind of went to a complete full stop with COVID and travel restrictions. And I just was looking for something to kind of take me off the bit of the difficult period that we were all experiencing at that time. And as I always do, I came back to yoga. And it's something that I've been practicing yoga for a good 12, 13 years now. And it's something that I always come back to, especially in moments of stress or in moments that are a little bit more difficult in my life. And COVID was. So I decided, listen, you've got this time. You've always wanted to do yoga teacher training, but never got around to it because it's kind of a commitment of time that you need to make. And so it's like, okay, you've got the time now, and you need something to get you out of the slump that you are in. So let's do it. And I joined this yoga teacher training at Wellness Connection in Cape Town, Out Bay. Highly recommend them, by the way. And without really having the intention of teaching, I joined them to, as I said, to just kind of get a deep understanding of the practice I loved so much. And it kind of opened up this whole yoga teaching world to me, which I was very excited about. And when I finished the teacher training, I went right into it. And I managed to actually, within just a couple of years, build quite a lovely community of students here in Cape Town. Did everything from group classes to private classes to workshops to retreats to online, in person. I really dabbled into everything that I could put my hands on, corporate as well. And I was kind of, the people that I was around were quite impressed with what I've managed to build in such a short period of time for somebody who just got out of their first yoga teacher training, the 200 hours. And so I kind of reflected a little bit on that to see, what made it that,
I'm going to
I
interrupt you
managed.
quickly.
Yeah.
Maybe you can give people a time frame. When did you do your teacher training, and how long did it take you to create a a decent following, or that you had regular classes that would offer you a fair amount of income to keep you going?
I would say so. I finished my yoga teacher training in 2021. I created my business properly in 2022, just less than a year, and then but just less than a year after that as well, I was able to quit my full-time job and then start teaching yoga my main income.
Wow. So that's literally 2 years after teaching, I mean, doing your
Yeah.
yoga YTT, that you've done that. And I'm assuming that you saying that like a lot of your business MBA work from before then is what really helped you manage to
Yeah.
create that for yourself.
So that's why, sorry, that's why I kind of realized is that, you know, I wasn't a much better teacher than other people out there, but I think I had a bit of a better understanding on what I needed to do to put myself out there and to get the word out there for my classes, and how to market myself, how to create my business, how to get the people to notice me and the classes, and how to build that community. And that doesn't come with the knowledge that we get at our yoga teacher training. Your yoga teacher training will give you everything that you need to know to teach yoga. It won't give you the insight that you need to actually make a living out of teaching yoga. And those are two very different things. And obviously, yoga teacher training in 200 hours, you know, you don't have the time to go into deeply onto those business knowledge. But I already had that knowledge from my studies and from my previous work experience. So
Mhm.
that definitely pushed me ahead of the curve.
Okay, and then from this, you know, creating your brand and teaching, you have then formulated this new brand, which is quite very new actually, because I think you created
Yes,
it this year, which is the Yoga CEOs, right? And
yes.
so how and why did you start creating that?
So as I said, I realized that, you know, the what was missing for most yoga teachers was just those like crucial business skills, and they're not very difficult to learn. The time yoga teachers don't even realize that they need it, or don't realize that they lack that, and that is the reason why, you know, they're not getting the people into the classes, or whatever online they are making is not working the way that they want to. It's not because the offering is wrong. It's not because the teaching skill is not good enough, which is usually, unfortunately, where yoga teacher goes to. They usually, well, I'm not good enough. You know, let me do the training, or let me do something else, or, you know, like, oh, I will never make it. It's not that. It's simple business things and skills that you can learn. Everything is teachable. So that really can make a big difference into somebody's yoga career.
I'm going to tell you a little story. You're probably going to have a laugh. So when I started teaching yoga, because I was in my early 20s, and I was definitely in the space like, oh, I'm not, you know, good enough. And, you know, I've still got so much to learn, which is a great space to be in, because as a yoga teacher, student, you're always learning. There's always ways to grow and evolve and delve into. But I had this
As a
idea.
human being in general, there's always ways to grow and learn.
Exactly. And so I had done my yoga teacher training while I was doing a business science degree at UCT, you know, focusing on marketing. Marketing was the stream I was in. So I had done a business course, so to speak. And so after my teacher training, I thought, you know what? I'm going to, you know, focus on building my business in 10 years. I'm going to give myself 10 years to, you know, get confident and learn everything I need to learn. And I'd gone to like more workshops and this, that. And I was like, by, you know, 10 years in the industry, then I'm going to be like an authority, and like my business, my brand is going to grow and build. And 10 years came and went, and I was like, well, I still don't feel that much more confident after like having taught 10 years in the industry than, you know, what I did way back then. Maybe a little bit more, but not hugely. And I was just like, but now all these business skills that I'd learned, it was like more for like big corporates. I was like, I didn't learn anything useful for a sole entrepreneur, who's trying to create something from home. And granted, like, you know, back in, you know, 2010, 2012, the business then, I mean, business industry is very different to it was now. You know, we didn't really have much YouTube and Instagram and things like that. In fact, I think Facebook had just slowly started to come out. So I definitely found that, you know, what I love about your story is that it's like we can learn these business skills early on, and we can be impactful, and we can help more people. We don't have to wait the 10 or 20 years till we feel that we're going to be ready or qualified enough to do it. We can actually start right away. So I just thought I would.
Yeah. And the truth is, I mean, I relate to a lot with your story as well, and with a lot of people that I speak to, is like it's that notion of also of imposter syndrome that always stays around, and we kind of feel like we got to get over it to be able to like kind of like make it. That we got to, and then so like we search for all those courses, to try to so that we can learn everything that we should be learning, but really is the imposter syndrome unfortunately never fully goes away, and it's just something that you got to kind of work through and work with instead of trying to win it over. You're just going to kind of get used to it being there, and do the work, even if you don't always feel like you have everything under control. Like, you will never feel like you have everything under control. You will never feel like you know everything, because we live in a world that's moving so fast, especially as you said, that like whatever the business skills that I learned, like 15 years ago, if I was to go back into business school now, the courses will be so much different. But it taught me a way of looking at things and how to assess a problem and how to a situation, find the opportunities, the threats, the strength, the weaknesses, all those kind of things, and move forward, make a plan with it, and move forward, and reassess, find data that you can look at so that you know if you're going to the right direction or not, and things like that. So all of that to say that really it's not just finding another course, doing another 300 hours or another 50 hours or another 200 hours is just pushing the problem back. Yes, you're going to learn many, many, many things, but it's not really going to help you feel like you're ready to do it. The only way to do it is to do it. You're
That is so
just going to jump in.
exactly. And I love there are a couple of things in there that I wanted to peel out. One is like this imposter syndrome. I think so many of us struggle with that. I think that's so true and such a valid point. And then the other thing that you was talking about was kind of like, it kind of like felt like, taking ourselves and being in the flow of the challenges that life throws us. So like we're never going to we're going to have to face those business aspects or the money issues, the challenges, the limiting beliefs that we have about that. Whoa, all these different things. We're going to have to face those at some point in our life. So why not use yoga and your yoga practice and something positive to help you navigate and transition through those challenges in a positive way. So no, I love
Definitely.
you shared them. So Lilly, with people who are like, okay, kind of like listening in and they're like, this is sounding interesting. Like, I think this chick knows what she's talking about. And all I wanted to say is like, you definitely need to go see your Instagram account because you've got such great reels on there. And it's also lovely at
Oh,
the
thank
moment
you.
because it's the beginning phases, so we can all see how this brand is growing. So, okay, maybe like two ways into the next question is maybe the intro into it is like, I know that you've got the Yoga CEOs website, you've got course on there for yoga teachers, no matter if you're like a newbie or like me, like 20 years experience in the industry, you can come and you can do like a 3-month package with you where it is like some group coaching and then some individual time. So with what you're offering, with what you're branding out there, can you maybe speak a little bit about that? And then on top of that, maybe give yoga teachers like a couple of tips as to like where they could start themselves when it comes to like uncovering this big mountain that we call business. Because as a small business owner, you're doing everything from your accounts to your sales to your marketing to doing your client, like you're doing everything. Whereas in a normal corporation, you have like different people who are wearing those hats and doing everything. So like chat a little bit about the yoga CEOs, please, and your courses and what you offer and who they're for. And then maybe just a couple of tips for people on how to get started.
Sure.
Cool.
So yeah, so the yoga CEOs, I created this was really I just wanted to help yoga teacher make it make yoga the career, because I see it all the time. It's just like, oh, I'm a yoga teacher on the side, or I just do it as a side hustle. And for people who really have a gift for it and really would want to make this their full-time career, and it's not as impossible as most people think it is. It really is attainable, and in a short period of time. So with the Yoga CEO, that's what we want, what I want to help yoga teachers with. And the more you are able to the bigger your business is, the more you grow, the more you are able to help people within the field of yoga that you chose to teach, which is wonderful, because we yoga teachers have a bit of this weird relationship when it comes to money, and it's not a bad thing. You are able to be, you should be remunerated for their time and for the knowledge that you have, and on top of that, the more wealth you're able to bring within your business, the more you're able to redistribute it in terms of impact that you make onto the world. So I just wanted to say that, because I know that it's a bit of an iffy subject when it comes to linking yoga and money. And, one can really help the other grow. But within the yoga CEO, what we offer is we've got a couple of short-term programs, like 3 months. We got either on a private one-to-one coaching or within a group setting, where we teach you a little bit of an introduction to business for yoga. So kind of like what you need and what you should be paying attention to when you get started, or when you feel like you're getting stuck somewhere and you kind of want to move forward. Which gives you, within the group setting, also a bit of a sense of community, because as an entrepreneur, you feel like it can be a bit lonely sometimes. You're doing everything on your own all the times, and you're working out of this office contact that you kind of normally used to when you've got colleagues and somebody to tell you what to do, and then you are actually now alone working for yourself and doing everything on your own, which can feel sometimes a little bit lonely. And that's why having a community around that is also quite important, I think. Yeah, that's what I would say.
I definitely find that, I don't like talking about regret, but I think if there's one thing that I do regret on my yoga journey, is that for, I would say, about 20 years, I tried to do it on my own. So I did create like other brands, like this brand, Yoga Awakening Africa, which was a magazine, and then my travel experiences, and now it is just these interviews. So it's morphed into different things, and being part of a yoga teacher training. But generally, my yoga journey has been very individualized, like just me. And it took me 20 years to find a community that I resonated with, and where I actually realized that I needed a coach, where I needed support, I needed a community, I needed someone who I was accountable to. And I can't tell you how, in like the last 2 years, how much I have grown, how much more quickly, how much faster, and I just think, if I would have done this 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, like 20 years ago, when I started, I would be at a much different place than I am now. We all have our own journeys to go. I understand that, and I accept that. And so it is. But I just feel that, like, for people who might be listening and have been going at it at their own, or believe that they, can do it on their own, you can do it on your own, but it's so much easier and so much quicker if you find a coach who has done it before. And that's why I came and joined your course, because I was like, I like her Instagram stuff. I like the way her website is laid out. Like, she knows shit. I need to find out how she's doing this. And I was like, okay, I'm going to enroll in her course and learn from her. And again, that weekend was amazing, because for me, yes, I had done a lot of the work, but it just streamlined things in my brain and had reset things again and reminded me of what was important to do. So what is your feel on this idea of like coaching and being part of a group and a community? Am I like on my own here in this thinking, or do you have similar sense?
No, definitely not. No, as I said, I mean, a community is so helpful, even even in terms of just kind of not, as I said, just not feeling alone. Having somebody to celebrate your wins, having somebody to tell you it's going to be okay if there is something that doesn't go your way, and also being able to exchange with people. within a community or a coach, what is also very helpful is kind of have somebody's eyes onto something, because creating your own business, it's very personal. It's, you're putting a lot of hard work in it, you're putting your entire heart in it, and it's sometimes very hard to be able to actually make objective decisions on our own business, because it's not objective, it's emotional. We're putting so much tears and joy and sweat and anything, everything onto it, that at some point it gets, it is becoming harder and harder to look at it objectively, and a coach can do that for you. So it's kind of, yes, you can, I've managed to do it on my own, but I've also had help from other, I've took other courses as well, and I talked to a lot of yoga teachers who were way ahead of me in the game, to see what they were, how to, for them to guide me as well. And it helps tremendously, as you say. It's, yes, you probably can do everything on your own. It's just, do you really have to? Why would you want to? When you can actually have a whole community behind you is going to help you and support you, and you're going to get it quicker. So it's really it all benefit.
Mm-hmm. And I suppose that also speaks to this idea of like, that's why it's important to take time to do your research and figure out like who you resonate with, have those conversations. I don't know if you're like me, like I've got so many courses, online courses sitting in my inbox that have like just been started, or they're like a third of the way through or halfway through. And I really find that this like one-on-one interaction or group interaction where you come together is really, really helpful, because it helps you move through the content, because the content is important, but we have so many distractions in our lives that other things just take priority. But if, like you're saying, you have a coach or you have a group that you're responsible, accountable to, you are actually going to take action and do what you want to do, which if you're wanting to teach or teach groups, and make this a part of your life or your business, you need to do that. And
Yeah.
maybe other things need to fall by the wayside, like maybe the Netflix that you're watching in the evenings needs to disappear for a little while, not forever, but maybe just during this transition period. So yeah, that was
Yeah, and I mean,
right.
I've taken, especially through COVID, I've signed up for so many online courses. I was just like, oh, I've got all this time. I'm gonna learn this and that and this and that. I think I don't even have the password to my Udemy account anymore. Like, I can't remember the last time I actually went on it. And there's like dozens of courses that laying there. Some of them not even started, and some of them, that I did went through, and I've learned a lot. But actually, that's all that it. I've learned about it, but I actually didn't put it into action at all. And I mean, you've done my courses, and what I said at the beginning of the weekend course that we go through together. It's like, you've got to do a lot of work through
Yeah,
the weekend.
you're going to
And there was,
implement you're going to implement what it's about.
because I mean, it's easy to, to get the theory, but then it's just, it's, you take notes, and then those notes take dust in one of your drawers somewhere, and you actually never put it into action. And I really do believe that what I'm teaching is, is going to help you achieve what you want to achieve. So I want you to do it. And it's human nature to just put it to tomorrow or the day after. So like, if I try to really, into every course that I have created and every course that I will create, to make sure that there is this implementation part that is kind of like the main pillar of every course that I put through, so that it's not just knowledge that you get but don't use. It's like you're forced, because you've found out this time, and I'm looking at you, and I want you to do it right now. And this is kind of like the main idea behind all of the courses that I'm putting out there. It's like, I really want this to create change.
And I think what I love about your courses as well is because I know, like, when you advertise it, you're like, they're in person and they're online. And the group that I was in, we were all online, and so we were, together in the Zoom room. We were all kind of like, doing our notes, making our things, and then you were sending us in breakout rooms, and we were chatting and we were getting to know everyone. But because of that, you really did have to participate. You couldn't just kind of like turn the screen off and kind of like, go and, make your lunch and, walk the dog or what. Had to do the work. And I think that speaks loads to this idea of like implementation and accountability. I think those are two things that a lot of people are lacking and are looking and searching for. So I'm so excited that that is now part of your course and what you're offering. So
And in
what
that way, you're not only learning from me, you're learning from all the people that are on the course as well, because, you know, I have limited experience as a human being. I have limited experience as, you know, as anything that I do. So there's people who have different experiences, and I can only relate to what I've experienced. And so having, you know, multiple people going through and, you know, like exchanging ideas and bouncing ideas off one another, it's like, it's invaluable, really.
it really, really is. And it's so lovely. I mean, the group we had was absolutely lovely. And the ladies had such, you know, good ideas and insights. And I was like, wow, I don't even remember this. And because a lot of them had just kind of like started on their yoga
Yeah.
teaching journey. And I was like, oh, wow, I can remember that. But I didn't even think it was an issue. And I was like, oh, this is really interesting for me to note. But what you're saying about like when we come together as a group, and I found this as well in my coaching groups where, you know, we're working on implementing like the Ayurvedic practices and healthy living and all of that, is that I don't know everything. Like, and I can't know everything. And if I'm going to wait till I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner and I have all the information, it's going to be another 10 years. And by that time, I'm going to be like 50 something. And, you know, still not
And there
helping.
will be more things to learn by then. And
Exactly. But when you create like a safe group with like awesome people, like everyone's strength can come out and everyone is able to give their advice and input. And as a group, everyone learns and grows and evolves. And so, like, I used to hate group work and things. And I think that comes from like schoolwork where you'd always have like
yeah.
loafers and there'd always be, you know, like, you know, trying to find times to meet. But I've changed completely now. I'm like, I absolutely love it. If you're in the right group with the right people and
Yeah.
you've got the right leader, it can be such a growth orientated experience. And so I'm so excited to see how your brand is going to grow and evolve. Like, what are you excited about seeing in like those who participate in this course with you? Like, what are you wanting to see happen with them?
I mean, everyone's got their own different journey. And, you know, one thing that I've learned throughout is like, there's nothing good will come out into comparing yourself to somebody else. You can take inspiration and you can, you know, kind of, it's great to work together. But, you know, we have this tendency always to kind of compare ourselves to whoever is within the space at the time. And so that has never brought anything good to me. But so I really want them to get to everything that they want. And they all, as you know, they were also kind of like different stages within the yoga business journey. So for some of them, this was really about just getting the courage to get started, which is probably the biggest step to take, really. It's just like intentionally putting yourself out there is usually the hardest, and the longer you wait, the harder it comes. So I went straight out, closed my eyes, jump off the cliff, and kind of vibe for me to be able to just, because I knew if I was going to wait a little bit longer, a little bit longer, a little bit longer, I will never do it. So for some of them, I just really excited that they actually just taken that first step to join the course and, you know, to put themselves out there. And I can't, they all had such amazing ideas as to what kind of niche they wanted to work in and what they wanted to bring into the world, that I cannot wait to see how that's going to come. I'm putting space in my calendar to go and attend each and every one they're offering.
Awesome.
Everything sounded fantastic.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. And that speaks volumes for you as like, you know, a coach and a mentor there as well. It's like that you're excited to see like what's happening with your students, like
Oh,
what's
of course,
happening.
yeah.
I mean, that is so cool.
I mean, it brings me so much joy to see, you know, somebody just succeeding. It's as a coach, that's all you want. You want people to find their way, and hopefully, and at some point, you know, fly on their own and need you only once in a while to just check in.
Mhm. So, Lily, I mean, like we could go on and chat because I absolutely love chatting with you. But like to kind of like round this up a little, what would you say is like the one thing or one of the things, and it might just be for the time being at the moment, because things always change, has kind of like
Yeah.
helped you evolve or grow into who you are now?
I think the one thing that really made a huge impact on me, and kind of like made me change the way I was thinking into growing my business and all of that, is that, and it's, I forgot, somebody said it, but I forgot who, but it was, it says something like, it's not because you can do anything that you have to do everything. And really, it's because for me, that was the most overwhelming part of starting a business and starting a whole different career. And it's just, it feels like there's so much to do. There's, and you got to do the marketing, and you're going to do the, email marketing, and you got to do the sales funnel, and you got to do the Instagram, and you got to do, create your courses and do this and do that. There's so many that at some point it just feels like so much to do that you actually don't start doing anything, because you don't even know where to start. You've got all this motivation and everything, but you actually don't know where to start. And that's what I teach also into the course within kind of like the 90-day method is, okay, forget about everything. What is the one thing that's going to help you right now to move that needle up the most? And without saying going all the way to the point when, you're a 6-figure business owner and, everything is running automated and all of that. No. We're talking right now for the next 90 days. Within that time frame, within 90 days, what can you achieve that's going to make the most impact onto your business? And focus on that and that only. There's no need to learn about copywriting if you don't even know what you want to teach, if you don't even know who you want to talk to, if you don't know what niche you're gonna put yourself in. There's no need to, because that's like, it's an active procrastination. It's learning about everything and doing all the little things that you don't actually need to do right now. Yes, at some point, learning about email marketing and learning about content creation is going to be something that's going to become your priority. It might not be right now. So just focus on this one thing, do it nicely, doing well, put the time into it, and then move on to the next, one by one. And so for me, it's really is what made it all possible. It's just because then it cancels out all the noise around. You know where you're going, which is usually the root of procrastination or disappointment or kind of like feeling overwhelmed, is just not having this good sense of direction. So that would be like my number one tip, really.
I absolutely love that. I think that is so helpful to hear and a good reminder as well. And that's definitely one of the things you honed in on the course. It's like, okay, what is the, like, we all had our action plan when we left, and it felt really good to have that and to know, okay, like for the next 3 months, this is like my sole purpose. And I've got mine still on the board here. It's like simplify my funnel. Like, that is what my
Nice.
focus is. And I said, like, I knew like the next 2 weeks, it was going to be hectic with traveling. But I know that we're having like a check-in every week, just, sending in the group, like what we're up to. And I've got like my 5 steps out there, the action plan. So it is so helpful having someone and like a group to be accountable to. So I just want to say a big, big, big thank you for like creating what you've created, doing what you do, and for helping all of us yoga teachers out there just become more confident and have a bit more self-belief in ourselves that we can do it and that we can make yoga a real business in life. So thank you so much, Lilly.
Oh, thank you so much. That's music to my ear. This is already all I want.
Love it. Love it.